existence.
What's up, everyone? This is Mr. Giggles, and I don't know where Tin Man's at. Hell, I don't know where anybody's at. They're like running around. The blonde girl with the big boobs isn't here. The Wiccan Jennifer person isn't here. Hell, Tin Man isn't even here. I don't know where anybody is. But this is gonna be a roundtable thing, and Happy Halloween. It's Halloween every day, so fuck you. I don't care what anybody says. Fuck you. Britney Spears.
Nice.
To be.
Britney Spears. Burger King. Okay, guys. So what are we talking about? Something about witches getting burned at the stake or something. I like steak. Steak's awesome.
Steak is awesome. Medium rare.
Yeah. Okay, so like you guys wanted to talk like spiritual stuff, supernatural stuff, Halloween-y type stuff. I say weenie.
Yeah, I had to give up. Yeah, I had to give up Kenny on Halloween, man.
Okay. Well, hopefully some people will join, and I'm gonna go find a phone. Actually, I'm gonna go find Tin Man. I'm gonna go chase squirrels.
Yeah, go find Tin Man.
So, Curtis, well, I know you're into like the spiritual and supernatural stuff. Take it away.
So, basically, it's just something you think about, or you feel in your heart, or you feel in your gut that, from a young age, that you just realize it's something that you notice that you're just different than most people. And in your heart and your mind and your gut, it's not an and, heart, mind, or gut, whichever one that you personally wish to listen to. Not saying that you're hearing voices, I'm just pointing out that not all psychiatrists make good points whenever they ask if you hear voices, because in my concept of thinking, your conscious is a voice that talks to you, and that's one thing that you could throw at a psychiatrist and be like, yeah, I hear a voice, it's my conscience. Am I considered crazy since I hear a voice and I call it my conscious? Since you want to say weird voices are technically not stable. Let's not use negative words here. Let's just be like not stable. But whenever you're young, you feel or you sense something is different than most people around you, and it's like you can look at somebody and it's like, I kind of don't want to be with that person. Or you look at this person, oh, look what we found. You look at this person and yeah, pretty much, oh, look what we found.
Genevieve's here, I think.
There's times I would hear this voice, but it's more like a angelic voice.
Okay.
More of a somber, soft, angelic voice in my head. Calm, soothing,
what?
And it's. I mean, it's not bad, but it's like you have someone there that has your back in a way that could just.
It's that voice that says, hold on, think about it for a minute, breathe, 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 deep breath. Okay, now what was your thought? That's pretty much what it sounds like your voice does for you, Grandmaster.
Oh. More somber, calm, soothing, and sometimes I could see the being that the voice is attached to. And I sleep.
You can see the voice in your head?
Yeah.
You can see the being that the voice comes from.
Okay, so are we talking about an individual voice, or are we talking like the voice inside your head, like, you think itself like 2 + 2 = 4, or you're
No, it's almost close to the Holy Ghost for the mind. Okay, it's the voice is female, so beautiful voice, calm, somber, soothing, can really calm a it's very calm. And this being that has his voice, she's angelic, dark hair, blue eyes, very, very beautiful. I mean, it's almost angelic-like, almost.
It's a higher rank than a guardian angel. I know that much.
Okay, so
She might be Saffron.
Are we talking about spiritual communication with the world beyond here? Is that what we're essentially
Pretty much.
describing?
In a sense, he's basically describing an angel, and angels have different tiers or ranks or arcs or something. There's a technical word for it.
It's a ranking system. I know what you're talking about. You know, your archangels, sentinel angels. You know, you got varying.
Yeah, that's what she is. I can't say that fucking word. That's what she is, Grandmaster. She's your sentinel angel or something like that. I can't say that word. She's a higher rank than a guardian angel, though.
It's kind of weird. Is that there's some kind of, I don't know if it's an emotional connection, kind of a emotional connection to this voice.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was picking up. That at some point in time, you was technically connected with this entity. I would say at some point you was directly, deeply connected with this entity. I also said that.
Yeah, maybe you look like you got something you want to add. What do you want to say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering what the heck we're talking about right now.
You don't know what we're talking about?
We're talking about anything.
Talk about angels, but
we're talking about anything supernatural, Wiccan, pagan, spiritual.
Oh God, what's on his heart?
Like, exactly. That's how come I just started off when you first begin to notice that there's something different about you, because Tin Man, Mr. Giggles had to go find Tin Man. So and Mr. Giggles asked me to explain how I don't know. I just basically went off of whenever you first start noticing more or less that you're different from most people around you.
Okay, well, here's a question. Like, what do you feel that you are? Like, we talked about this a little bit last week after we got offline. Talking about some of the aspects of who you are, you know, not being human beings, something beyond that. If that's you care to elaborate. Is this like an intellectual thing? Is this a physical thing? A spiritual thing? Like what exactly is this?
Well, I think it's what.
Oh, I was just wondering who he was asking to explain it.
I believe since Genevieve's here, she should have the floor for a little bit since we've had time ourselves now.
All right, Genevieve. Why don't you go in and talk a little bit about your beliefs and what you think.
Well, if I explain...
I don't know why I can't hear her.
I don't know either. My mic's
I can hear
on.
all of you guys. I just can't hear her. And then again, we've been having problems this freaking evening.
See, I can't really hear you, Tin Man.
Who wants to shut?
Okay, can we still hear me and see me?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
still hear. Yeah.
I can hear you, buddy.
You got louder.
Yes.
I did get louder, okay.
Okay, so
So I'm going to return this.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
There we go.
Honestly, if I was to go into detail about everything that I believe in, I'd probably be thrown into a loony bin and my son taken away.
I still can hear Genevieve, but I can hear Grandmaster Evans' game. I hear Star Wars.
So I'll just scratch the surface on what I believe in. I believe that I am what is called a light angel. Who I was sent here to sacrifice myself for the human race and to protect everyone.
Well, you're not doing a very good job because you're still alive and everybody else is fucked.
No, but I've sacrificed a whole hell of a lot more than just my life before, so.
Okay. So I had to make the smart-assy remark here. Master Evan, like, do you consider yourself anything but human?
Well, to be honest, I've had this kind of connection to the wolf, though. I mean, some kind of connection to the wolf.
Okay.
I feel like I have in a more of a spiritual sense.
Like a very spiritual sense. Okay. So, like, you feel like it probably is like a spiritual animal, like you have some sort of spiritual connection to the animal?
Yeah.
And Curtis, what the hell are you? What do you believe yourself to be something other than human, or?
Okay, let's try to attempt to make this simple. In 2008, there was something that went catastrophically wrong, and I believe I passed through a mirror to this side of the exact same realm that I was in. From the other side, basically, more or less, I was told that whenever I was born, the doctor missed me and I fell onto the actual cement floor. So, which can cause the entire back of my head to be smacked on the cement floor. So, in turn, behind all that, just basically talking about my body, my host, my meat puppet, behind all that, I believe that I am a being. My being has come from a lower dimension during the dimensional tears that happened during the time that Atlantis saw.
Okay, so
And through... Yes, Tin Man?
So you believe yourself to be an interdimensional being who has transcended into a physical body.
Yes, because...
Due to a fucking traumatic experience.
Exactly.
Okay. And what has led you to believe this?
Because of the excessive, extra everyday I wouldn't say emotions, I would say more or less reads, like I'm reading a book, more or less things that I feel come into my self, the things that I pull off of other people, the things that other people project themselves. I actually sense this, I actually smell this in a way.
So you have heightened senses.
Yes.
Okay. And any other physical or even any other characteristics or attributes to support this?
Extended periods of insomnia that would make an insomniac go crazy, as well as fasting stints that seem crazy,
Okay.
as well as the obvious about the event in '08 where technically my spirit, my essence is technically in an extremely bad clone of the original body that it was born into.
Okay. So basically you are an engine that got dropped into a shitty car.
Pretty much I was told it was the exact same car and found out that it wasn't the same car. like this one has more dings and damages, and certain aspects are in opposite places.
I see. Okay. And Genevieve, you believe yourself to be an angel of sorts, sent here to make the ultimate sacrifice. Correct?
Ultimate sacrifice. It's a light angel. I believe that I'm here to sacrifice pieces of my emotional and mental self for the good of mankind, and to try and better and educate them. Because let's face it, humankind is freaking stupid.
Well,
They keep fighting the same damn wars over and over and over again, and they never learn the lesson.
all right. Here's that. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned that because that brings up a very interesting question. What about the prospect that a lot of people believe themselves to be something beyond human because they themselves think human beings as being inferior or weak or stupid? That
Well, I don't think human race is inferior or weak. I just think that over time, since they haven't.
And poof.
Yeah, I think she went poof. She poofed it. But like, I find it to be an interesting conundrum. Like, people want to get into the idea of being a higher level being, you know, whether
Since shortly before
extraterrestrial,
World
interdimensional,
War I, the
spiritual.
human race fell back on the collective consciousness level, so to say. We lost track of enhancing ourselves mentally. We more worried about the 3D environment that we were in.
Okay, so we decided that human beings are a weak and pathetic species, and
It's very rare to find a good one.
so we are believing ourselves. Correct me if I'm wrong. We are. I'm not even sure how to articulate this without hissing or even offending somebody or even being
Just spit it out.
remotely insulting. I personally think that a lot of this, you know, there may be elements of truth, you know, enhanced abilities and senses, but I personally think that maybe human attributes, as I think the human body and the human mind, and even in conjunction to the human soul, is something that has not been thoroughly explored. It has not reached or even began to discover its fullest potential and what it is capable of in numerous aspects. You know, as it said, we only use what, 14% of our brains?
If that.
Okay, so the realm of human potential is vastly untapped. So I think things like heightened senses, increased physical characteristics, or healing factors, or the ability to go without sleep, you know, these varying things, I think, are just aspects of human characteristics, you know, kind of like our talents. You know, we have physical talents like the ability to play guitar or something like that. You know, I think the body itself has similar talents and things that it excels at as well. And, you know, in order for the human body and the human mind to reach its fullest potential, you know, you got to exercise these things just like you got to exercise and practice your talents. And I think a lot of what is happening here is, you know, people want to associate themselves with being something else because they're so upset and disgusted with humanity and the state of things and the state of the world and where things in humanity is going, that we just don't want to be associated with it, and would just rather believe humanity to be this weak, pathetic sponge, and that we, who are the few exceptions, who have a higher level of consciousness or physical characteristics, would like to believe ourselves to be something more, when in reality we are just human beings who are subconsciously
entities from other
exercising the
dimensions.
characteristics that are, for the most part, untapped.
And let me ask you this question.
Shoot.
Tin Man,
Shoot.
you've known me the longest out of everybody.
Okay.
When have you ever met a human being that was equally as compassionate and empathetic and understanding as I am? Where have you ever met someone like that?
There's been quite a few people who I've met who have varying elements of those characteristics. You know, you are one of the rare exceptions of people that I have met in my life that have excelled in the avenue that you were describing. But I personally don't think that that makes somebody beyond human or spiritual, interdimensional, or anything. I think it's just a great human quality. And
But
I
I
don't see
haven't
anything
been
wrong with
through
being human if we actually just choose to use our talents for the greater good. You know, what's wrong with being human if we have these talents and choose to exercise them and do good with them?
There's no use in being human if you don't use the emotions that you have that are heightened. There's no use in it. There really
I agree.
isn't.
And the same goes with any
Emotion.
form of creature, whether human, spiritual, extraterrestrial, interdimensional. You know, what good is a talent or an ability if you do not utilize it for the betterment of humanity?
This is
Or the
correct.
betterment of the world around you. It doesn't matter. In retrospect, to me personally, I don't think it really matters whether you're an ET, an angel, a demon, a witch, or just an everyday Joe Schmo. We all have talents and abilities, but if we don't use them, and especially use them to improve the quality of life around us, what's the fucking point?
You can't improve or help something that does something or someone that doesn't want to be helped or better. You can't do it. There's just no way. It's like trying to tell a brick wall not to be a brick wall.
Well,
Nice.
it's like the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, okay? I mean, there's always going to be people that you would like to help or that want help, but not necessarily that want to accept the help that you have to offer them.
Well, you may not be able to make it drink, but you sure as hell can drown it.
Well, at which point, what's the point in that? I think just let people live in their own stupidity. You know, I like to let people fall on their own sword. Like, everybody bitches about this or that. Like say Donald Trump, for instance. You know, everybody's like, well, what is your opinion on Donald Trump? I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to give the guy enough rope. Either he hangs himself or builds a fucking bridge. And that's what I do with everybody. I give them enough rope. They can either hang themselves with it or build a fucking bridge. And that's how you got to look at it in every aspect of life, you know. If you want to help people, if they're willing to accept the help that you have to offer them, great. Otherwise, they're just looking, if they're asking for help, they're probably just looking for a fucking handout. They're not looking at the bigger picture. They just want to fucking skate by and do whatever the fuck they want to do.
That's why I tell anybody who I give my information to, no, not copyrighted, and if I found out that anybody anywhere made a profit off of it, I'll make sure that they won't ever do it again.
Yeah. And there ain't nothing wrong with that avenue.
I want to get to the one thing again. I mean, we use what 10 to 15% of our brain. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine if somebody uses an actual the full capacity of their mind, the full 100% mind,
Like
the wonders of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody actually used 100% of their brain, imagine what they could do.
Well, remember the movie Matilda? I don't know if they specified it, but The reason that little girl had those abilities was because she used more than that small percentage of her brain that most people use.
Which she was also forced to because her mom and dad didn't give a shit about her.
Yeah. But the reality of the situation is she had those abilities because she used a higher percentage of her brain.
And I think there was even a part where they said it was, they said a specific number, I think, but I know it was less than 50%.
Yeah, I don't recall. Maybe it was mentioned in the book. I don't recall it being mentioned in the movie. But
like the narrator said it or something, dude.
There's a movie.
Yeah, well,
there's a movie with Scarlett Johansson where her character was genetically engineered, where she could use a full capacity of her mind. She could change her hair color, her eye color, and everything else.
Is that ultraviolet?
No.
No, that was a vampire thing.
She was genetically engineered, and she was like this human chameleon where...
Aeon Flux.
No. That one had
I'm trying to think of the movie I saw where this chick was just changing her appearance as she was walking around.
It has Scarlett Johansson in it. It had her and Morgan Freeman in it, and where her character was genetically engineered to alter her eyes, her skin color, her hair, and whatnot. And she could use a full capacity of her mind to do these things that can really... I mean, it's almost like a super assassin, whatever call it, like... Close, but...
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what things like witchcraft and voodoo and all these magical-based systems come from, is just different ways of exercising our minds and manifesting our thoughts and desires into reality. That's what I think this is. That's what I think the spiritual aspect of things are. Or magic. Or anything related to the supernatural. And as far as like
just empty space.
Using magic. I used to dabble in witchcraft. I have seen some crazy fucking shit. And there's a lot to this world and the world beyond that we don't understand. But I do understand, and Genevieve and I, this is where her and I differ, and I'm not sure if she's even still here.
I'm still here.
All I see is a black screen on your end, but one reason why I think that that God and the Bible said to avoid doing these such practices is for the reasons that you specified about humanity being so childish and immature and stupid, is such tools, such practices like magic, in our hands, it'd almost be like a kid who found his dad's gun. You know what I mean?
Know what to do with it.
Huh?
They wouldn't know what they want to fucking do.
With it.
Either that, or or in many cases, people would get stupid with it. And let's not lie, Genevieve. You and I both know people who have done this shit and got really fucking stupid with it.
Yeah, and it came back on 10-fold.
Yep,
if not more.
Just like playing with a fucking, just like a 5-year-old playing with a shotgun. Bang! Pow! Right in your fucking face. Hey?
Did he say putting a firecracker in a shotgun?
No, I said just like a 5-year-old playing with a shotgun. Holds it out, goes pow, and the gun flies back and smacks him in the fucking face.
Right, because he ain't strong enough to hold it from the back kick.
Yep. That's what I think happens a lot of the time when people get these backlashes from practicing magic.
You just have to know what you're playing with, and before you decide to play with it, you have to make sure that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You also need to make sure that you are ready to accept the consequences should anything happen.
You know, But in retrospect, how many of us are really ready to accept the consequences of our actions? I mean, many of us, even as adults, have guns or weapons. But how many of us, in the heat of the moment, would take out our gun and blow somebody's fucking head off? I mean, we see it all the time in the news. Fucking gang members shooting each other up over stupid shit or territories. Fucking a husband comes home, catches his wife in bed with his fucking neighbor, pulls out his gun and blows them both away.
I'm more of Connor.
Kill anybody over something stupid. I do if they're threatening my friends or family.
Yeah, but you do see where I'm coming from on this. You know, even magic can be used and abused, and I think that's why the Bible and God is saying, "Hey, don't touch this. Bad fucking juju." And I think a lot of people, they like to incorporate things, even darker elements, into their practices and start contacting beings from the other side. And oftentimes you don't know what you're getting. And more often than not, it's not going to be something good, but will be masquerading as something good, and you wouldn't know the wiser. I'm actually dealing with a person right now who's been doing that stupid shit, like fucking around with Ouija boards and talking to something on the other side. She treats it as their fucking guide, and I'm like, yeah, it may be a guide, but do you know where this thing is fucking leading you? Oh, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. How the fuck do you know?
Good question, man.
Like, and you gotta figure, you're dealing with forces from the unseen world who know us through and through. They are pretty much intellectually superior to us in that regard. They have an understanding of how the physical and spiritual planes work and the universe works as a whole, and
so
can
you just
manipulate
more or less
the living
agreed
shit
with us
out
about
of us.
the humans not being as intelligent as well.
Yeah, and I think that's another reason why God in the Bible says big no-no to this stuff, is because there are forces at work on the other side that will use you as a fucking scapegoat. Just like a fucking hired gun.
Oh, dude, I already understand that this thing right here is a fucking puppet, a meat puppet, dude. I already get that.
Yeah. But we hear about people being manipulated and used all the fucking time. I mean, look at these shooters. How many of them were not manipulated and used? I mean, even you got legitimate terrorists who join up with organizations who are run by a single individual with a single ideology, and it's got all these other people doing his fucking bidding, willing to fucking die for this person's idea and causes. But you guarantee you didn't see Osama bin Laden with a fucking bomb strapped to his chest. You didn't see him on the fucking plane with a box cutter,
No.
Getting everybody else to do his bidding. And I think that's a lot of what could be happening on a spiritual sense. The spiritual influencing the influence.
There's a lot of that, though.
And they're masquerading as gods and goddesses and shit when they're nothing more than spiritual essences that just exist, whether angelic, demon, or somewhere in between. I don't think they're gods. You got all these pantheons throughout theologies, many of which have a common source, like Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Egyptian mythology, Norse mythology, a lot of which relates back and has many similarities to Judeo-Christian theologies. So I think there's a lot of common sources there, but then again, there's a lot of other belief systems out there.
Every time you say Christian, I'd like to interrupt for a moment and actually add for a moment and say that, did you know that Christian actually came out of Egyptian religion? I hate that word. And Christians went back to discredit the Egyptians.
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Finally, someone else who believes the same thing as me and knows the truth.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that. And like I said, a lot of these stories have the same common source. Now, whatever is the original source material, I don't fucking know. I wasn't there on day one.
How do you know? You might have been.
Oh, if they were
Like I
dropping
said, I don't
bombs,
believe
they were
in
like day
reincarnation because, especially from my standpoint, I don't think I'd be dumb enough to go for a round 2. I wouldn't be dumb enough to get to the other side and go, man, that fucking sucked. Let's do it again.
Exactly. Let's do it again.
Question.
It's like, I don't think the dick was up in my ass far enough this last time. Let's try this again.
Did you go as Mr. Giggles?
For
what does Mr. Giggles think about all this?
Did I go as Mr. Giggles on Halloween, you mean? No, I was actually working. I couldn't get the day off. My boss had taken the day off, and I'm one of the few people who actually knows how to run the computer systems and keep things running smoothly on that aspect. So I took a mulligan on that one and agreed to work Halloween. Which was good because we had a lot of other people who took off. But as far as what Mr. Giggles thinks about this, let's go get him. Let's see what he has to fucking say. Mr. Giggles, where you at? Mr. Giggles!
Halloween was weird, man. Hardly any kids came to the house,
doing?
man.
It's warm in there. Come here, people want to talk to you. What now? Just get in there. Alright, fine, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was in the oven, damn it!
Why are you cooking yourself?
It was warm.
So, Mr. Giggles, what do
I
you...
hear laughter. Is that blonde booby woman? Hello?
Yeah, that's her.
You are not a blonde booby woman. You are a bearded glasses guy. And he's also a bearded glasses guy, and you're a bearded glasses guy, and I've got a black screen. It is big booby blonde woman.
What, Mr. Giggles?
I like big boobs. Boobs
And
are
he,
my...
ain't, and he ain't lying.
No. Did you know the world is round? Boobs are my world.
How do you explain that baby be born in Alaska whenever she was on a flight from Japan to California, though, Mr. Giggles? How do you make a straight line from Japan to Alaska to California?
Teleportation. Either that or somebody had a huge rocket stashed up their ass.
We don't have to ask Mr. Giggles what he thinks. He's on this level. He gets this stuff. He's one of these beings.
I like beans. Beans make you fart. Okay, so you guys wanted to ask me something? What are we talking about?
We're talking about your ability to cook yourself and not fry yourself, Mr. Giggles, because you're an immortal being, but not technically God.
I'm not immortal. I'm just crazy. Yeah, you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean? You know, Jack Sparrow. It's like that.
Jack Sparrow.
Have you? The one guy goes, "You're mad," and Jack goes, "Naturally. If I wasn't, this would probably never work." You know, it's the same basic concept.
Jack Sparrow is actually an interdimensional being. He defies the laws of time. Do you realize how long the time span of all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are? And technically, Jack Sparrow doesn't age.
Yeah.
And everybody else does age. Even the dude with the no leg fucking ages. With the monkey, he even ages. Jack Sparrow does not.
Yeah, he's like Logan.
Exactly.
I wonder, does he have like a metal skeleton?
No, he's just the shit.
Okay, so why did you guys put me in here? I want to go back to the oven.
As long as you don't hurt yourself, that might be fine, Mr. Giggles.
Okay, well, let's get on with it. What do you want?
we'd like to continue our discussion, and I'd like to ask anyone who their thoughts on alternate realities, parallel realities, different timelines, technically creating different realities.
Reality
Good
is
question,
just
man.
Seeing if they're all connected, seeing if you're one person that is in each of them reality are connected or they are not, seeing persons' points of views on that.
You're talking about the idea that each action and consequence stems a different reality. Like, you could have chosen to smoke that pipe, or you could have chosen to put it down. In one reality, you
Exactly.
smoked it. In another reality, you
And
set
in
it
another
down.
reality,
In
I
another
did not
reality,
pick
threw
it
it
up
across
this
the
time.
room. You know, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
That's kind of like the past life thing.
Yeah.
We all have like this past life type shit, you know, and
That is possible, but you know, it's lack of evidence. We have no way of exploring or even trying to connect to any of these alternate realms, provided they even exist.
Your mind. Technically, you are them. So technically, you are all of them at the same time. So if you use your mind at certain aspects, you can technically communicate through them.
Well, that's
because they are technically you.
A more plausible theory would be time travel. That each individual minute, second, hour, whatever, each period of time is, in a sense, its own reality. Every second, every millisecond, every fraction of a second.
Exactly,
is,
Mr. Giggles.
Own reality.
Exactly, Mr. Giggles.
That is more of a plausible reality. And at which point you do have you have multiple dimensions, and they all exist simultaneously, harmoniously.
Because time itself is an illusion, Mr. Giggles. If you
it's
introduce the concept of
like
time to everything, it becomes that way.
Think of it in terms of a film strip. Time in itself is like a film strip. Just flash, 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 flash. Every second of your life is a flash, a frame on a film strip.
Now imagine between each flash, Mr. Giggles, imagine that's the higher dimensions, and each flash is the lower dimensions, Mr. Giggles.
Like positive and negative.
Exactly, Mr. Giggles.
Well, it depends on the kind of camera you use.
It's very difficult to explain reality and truth, except for to use terms where people play off of each other and explain things, and then you come to an understanding, and you basically write a book down that people would not fucking understand if they started to read it.
Well, here's the concept for you. Why focus on what might be rather than focusing on what is?
Because what might be and what is could plausibly be the exact same thing.
Well, that's like me thinking to myself, okay, if I eat this cheeseburger, eventually I'm going to have to poop. But if I don't eat this cheeseburger, I won't poop. That's stupid. What does that matter?
Technically, you will expel waste any way it goes.
Exactly. Case and fucking point. Unless you're constipated, then you're fucked.
Either way, shit will happen.
Shit happens. Exactly. I say just go with the flow and do. Just fucking do. Don't worry about the what ifs. Because too many people focus on what if this and what if that. You know, so the fuck what? You know, what if my aunt had a dick? She'd be my uncle. I mean, who fucking cares? And like, no. Stop focusing on the what ifs and just
what if all
focus on the
insects
what
had 8
is
legs?
and
Would we
take
have to call
chances
them all
and live your
spiders?
fucking life. Stop questioning the unanswerable stupid shit. Like, are there aliens? Like, what does it fucking matter? Are they coming to talk to me? Or are they shoving things up my butt? I don't know. And until I got an alien shoving things up my butt, then I don't care. You know, they can exist, they can do their own thing. It don't have any bearing on my life. Okay, so long as a ghost doesn't come in here and steal my fucking Pop-Tarts, I'm fine.
Fried chicken, brother. Fried chicken.
I almost got fried chicken today. It was awesome. But they wouldn't let me in the KFC, unfortunately. You know, the whole mask. They wouldn't let me in.
Yeah.
Burger didn't let me in. I don't know why they let me get over there, but I know. It was cool.
Mr. Giggles, you know you can go to the store and buy fried chicken to make in the oven.
Yeah, but they won't let me in the store. The whole mask thing. I can't go in the store.
Have Tin Man get it for you then.
Tin Man, I want chicken.
I think he got caught fucking the chicken.
Stop telling people my secrets! It's like that movie, The Devil's Rejects. You're telling me I'm gonna cut a chicken's head off, stick my dick in it, and go, what? Like, no, but your boy over there looked a little sexually frustrated.
Wow.
Was it the neck or his asshole?
You might want to ask Rob Zombie about that one. Last I checked, he wrote the script.
It was the neck.
The neck. Anyway, I'm going back to the oven now, guys. Later.
So, besides Mr. Giggles' thoughts, anybody else's thoughts? Grandmaster? Jenny with a G?
Well, the mind is a very tricky thing that we have, and I mean, just the idea of having a dream. I mean, it can be any dream, whether it's a nightmare or something really, really, really good. I mean, our mind is basically a film projector.
Yeah.
With where you get to save a part, then if one see it again, just go back and see it.
Yeah.
In your sleep.
And that's literally how the human mind works, including the eye. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but it's been proposed. I'm not sure if it's actually been put into practice or not, but it's been argued that in murder cases you can actually find out who the killer was by studying the victim's eyes. Like, I don't know what the fuck they would do to the victim's eyes.
Are you sure you
but they'd be able to get the last image that the eyes saw, which would be obviously the killer. So the last image that the eye saw could potentially identify the killer.
Didn't you pull that straight out of Wild Wild West?
I don't know if that was in Wild Wild West, but I know that it's been proposed numerous times.
That's the only movie I've ever saw that in.
Yeah.
I only saw Wild Wild West once.
And that's exactly how Homeboy figured out who he had to go after whenever Homeboy's head got chopped off. After he set up the little device to it, he put it like on a big-ass light and shot light through his eyes, and that's how he saw what Homeboy had seen last.
And he had to turn his head upside down.
I don't know about that one, but...
Exactly. He had to turn his head upside down in order to see what the picture was. But off of what you're saying, Off of what you're saying, Tin Man, I've heard somewhere that humans, whenever they first start actually seeing, they actually see everything visually upside down from the way that we see it now, because of the way that we realize suddenly the place we are in is. And then technically with our eyes, the reason why we see it upside down is because our eyes see everything upside down anyway. So in turn, turning upside down makes it right side up.
That's it. Learn something new every day. In fact, I also learned that the reason that we have 420 is because it's Hitler's birthday on April 20th, and we smoke weed on 420 to forget him.
Well.
Yeah, I heard that at the gas station today. I'm like, wow, things you learn.
Did you double check that on Google?
I did not, but I just thought I'd throw it out there. Like, I have heard before that the April 20th was Adolf Hitler's birthday. So it could probably be true. Like, I don't know. Let me get my phone out.
1889.
Hey, Darth.
Yes.
I can't see your camera. I
Okay.
can't see your video. Or Chris's. I can't see either one.
Well, I can't see you either, so.
I could turn my camera off and turn it back on.
Yeah, that might help.
Let me try.
Yes.
I just reloaded the entire web page.
Okay.
I see Papa.
I still don't see Genevieve.
I
Well,
turned my
no.
camera off and turned it back on.
You
I
tried
can see her.
calling and it tried ringing on my fucking phone. I hate it when it fucking does that.
I can see
Well,
her.
I'll hang up and then join again. Hold on.
All right. There you go, trying to call me again.
I'm not trying to call you. I joined the conversation.
Right fucking here.
Tin Man, I believe you are the head of this call, are you not, correct?
Yeah, I'm actually on the Mr. Giggles account. That way I could connect on my phone elsewhere without interrupting it on
This is why Mr. Giggles rings every time somebody rejoins the call.
Yes. Hold on. I'm going to find out.
And you can just simply turn off notifications, and that will stop Mr. Giggles from making sounds.
Yes. When is Adolf Hitler's birthday?
1889, the exact date that you said. Because I checked that out before everybody started with their technical difficulties.
You would.
Well, Mister, I finally got a stuffed animal to cuddle. Look.
Nice.
I still see nothing.
Nice.
It's a crocheted penguin.
Yay, crochet penguin.
And Bradley has
My
Bradley
mom.
has a matching baby one.
My mom does a lot of crocheting. Been doing that for years. My
Yep.
great grandmother.
April 20th.
1889.
Yeah.
The year we went to hell.
And in that search criteria, I've got Charlie Chaplin, Joseph Stalin, Osama bin Laden, Paula Hitler, Albert Einstein, Napoleon Bonaparte, Eva Braun, and Winston Churchill.
Tim Osmond.
Did you
Tim
say
Osmond
that?
is not in
Did
there.
you say? Did you say Napoleon blew a fart?
Yeah, Napoleon Bonaparte.
How do you say Obama's last name again? Barry Seghetto?
It
Yeah.
was like Santino or something.
Yeah, every time I hear Osama bin Laden, I gotta say Tim Osmond. Every time I hear Barack Obama, I gotta say fucking Barry Seghetto. It's just like, it's implanted and it happens. It's like,
Yep. You associate one with the other.
yep.
Alright, so here's a question for you.
We have a lot of activists who, like yourselves, associate themselves with these varying ideas, and in addition to many of which incorporate the idea of extraterrestrial and even interdimensional beings, specifically Greys, Anunnaki, and stuff like that. Many activists are Wiccan and so on and so forth. Yeah. Here's a good question. How do you think that makes the activist community look as a whole? Do you think that makes people regard the activist community as
outcasts,
as kooky and crazy conspiracy theorists and stuff like that? Do you think that acts as a negative to the general onlooker?
No, because we're questioning what we're lied about.
Mm-hmm.
We're questioning what we don't believe and how we feel about it.
Curtis, what do you got?
I don't know how to say these two words. Give me 1 second. Cognitive
dissonance?
Yes, that's the other word. Cognitive dissonance is my comment on that.
Okay. Makes sense. Right. Genevieve, what do you think? Do you think that these ideas and whatnot work to discredit the activist community, make us look like, quote, conspiracy nuts?
No, I just think they're all stupid.
What, the general public is stupid, or that the activist community is stupid for believing those things?
Both. I mean, honestly, who's stupid enough to believe everything that you're told and everything that you read? Really?
I believe you're stupid because you're biased.
I mean, people are really going to believe everything that they're told by the supposed government, and they're going to believe everything that they read that the supposed government puts out. Really?
Okay, so you're...
Why can't they read between the lines?
And that's pretty much what we're saying that the activist community does, is questioning the official narrative and exploring all possible aspects of truth, regardless of how bizarre.
Yeah, but the stupidity on their part is that instead of actually bringing it to light, they go and think that they can fix what they found out. You can't fix it. It's the people who put that stuff up have too many links to too many different people, powerful people, and it's never going to change. They're never going to be able to change it, so just give up. You can still question it, but don't try and change it for yourselves. Change it for everyone else, not yourself.
Wake the people up and then move as a whole, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. You know, don't go directly to the source just yet until you have the backup as well as the proof to prove all the stuff that you're saying.
Don't step on the battlefield alone, basically.
Yeah. So don't go to battle unprepared, alone, because that's just the most stupid thing ever. I mean, you wouldn't automatically take
Never
the queen
go to battle unprepared
on a chessboard out to attack everything, because sooner or later she's going to get taken and you're going to lose the game, no matter what.
Yep. True that.
Well, it lowers your chance greatly.
So, speaking of chess games and war, weren't we supposed to have the American Revolution today? Like, something was supposed to happen today? What the fuck happened? Life is still boring. What the fuck?
Failed, man. It failed, man. Big time.
Huh?
They failed. There's a big hype.
For the 8th year in a row?
No, and we had this big hype thing going on for the last 2 weeks about how they're going to do this nationwide protest shit and to get Trump events out. They failed. It was it's kind of like a hype of a video game that kind of sucked nuts.
Or like the promise of a fireworks show and the firework was a dud.
Yeah.
Why are we sideways?
Because basically you was going to use November 5th as the day to get out the greater of two evils. Way to put it?
Hey, I can see Curtis when I turn my phone sideways.
Yeah. So, I don't know if anything's going to happen on November the 5th.
Oh, right. Yeah, y'all had me confused for a minute. I thought today was the 5th.
I was actually thinking that last week when I was proposing doing the roundtable on Saturday, because I thought...
Exactly.
I was thinking that today was going to be the 5th as well, and I come to find out it's the 4th. I'm like, oh, wow, cool.
Because there's actually 5
You really
things
thought
that
they
I
were
know
going to
of.
do anything?
Right.
They're all talk.
I don't know. I would like to see something start to happen, some positive change in this world. And I think that change is going to have to come from the people. It's not going to come from the government. It's going to have to come from the people. And I'd like to see that freaking start somehow.
I have a picture with a George Washington quote on it that would work perfectly right here. Maybe I should go find it.
Shoot.
Like I said, I have to find it.
I can't hear Darth. I can't hear him.
Darth. Who's Darth?
Man, I am
Curtis?
Zero. I am cursed.
Yeah. You're saying Darth. I'm thinking Darth Vader.
Yes, this is similar. Hold, please.
I'm pretty sure he's worse than Darth Vader could ever hope to be. When you piss him off.
He's got a joint in his mouth. He's Darth Crispy.
Okay.
Darth Crispy.
All right. This is the quote from George Washington. A free people ought not only be armed and disciplined, but they should have significant arms and ammunition to attain a status of independent from any who might attempt to abuse them, which would include their own government.
Yeah. That can coincide with the Second Amendment.
Yeah, that is like a little umbrella statement right there for what we was talking about, as well as adding a few more things into it.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris. Can you
Hi,
see my
see you.
camera now? Because I can see you. So, this is my penguin.
Hey, penguin.
Alright, awesome, man.
Oh, gee. Okay, why we not here? Yes, the penguin is back again. It's so damn hot for a penguin to be just walking around here. I gotta get him back to this shop.
So does Mr. Giggles have the oven just on warm instead of higher than warm?
The oven isn't even on. I think Mr. Giggles found a way out of the house again. I don't know where he's
No!
Maybe that
You
open
better
window
find
right
him
there?
before he comes find me.
Oh yeah, he'll come find Jenny with a G. He'll find her. I know how Mr. Giggles is. He's got that little tracker. If he wants to find something, he'll find something. He found Rainbow Snatch, yo. Come on, we got to give him some credit.
All I have to do is put rats around my apartment.
That'll work. That'll work, but it'll cause a very big problem. Oh no. Okay. So, where are we going to continue on this discussion?
Well, y'all know the new phone came out this year, the iPhone X. Came out this year.
I don't
Big,
understand.
The iPhone X supposed to be a new one where to unlock it, you use your face.
Oh, an app, okay.
well, not an app, more like how my iPhone has the thumb thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. I'm with you, Grandmaster.
The new iPhone is like without the thumb thing, but your face unlocks the phone. It's key to unlock your phone.
So you have to remember how to make a face in order to unlock your phone.
No, it's uses your biometrics and shit.
Oh no, dude. Do you realize at some point we're going to be more technically advanced than Revelation predicted that what we're going to do?
Yeah.
So I'm technically always looking for something that connects to the meat puppet, so to speak, the human being, because we technically have wireless. So in a sense, they're going to figure out how to adapt a signal where it can connect with the human being signal. Like they have with MK Ultra to affect the brain in a way of sense.
Well, I just thought that if I ever had this phone and my face looked at it, it would completely blow up and freeze, man.
What about men shaving and shit, yo? Oh yeah, you said biometrics like your sweat and your shit, yo. That's not cool.
No, your fingerprint and your eyes and shit. Your whole face.
Yeah, it's going to scan your eyeballs. You're going to have a retina scanner on your phone.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
We're talking about how advanced technology is becoming with unlocking somebody's phone.
Yeah. From the iPhone 5 to the new one, it's based on thumbprint and biometrics and shit.
That's crazy.
I like the thumb thing in a way because just in case if I kindly misplace my phone.
I think it's my phone fucking up.
Damn.
If you guys can hear me, it's my phone fucking up.
That phone sucks.
My phone is being piece of shit.
Oh, guys, I finally did something really funny.
The phone sounds like shit.
You know how you get crazy random phone calls where somebody tells you something is wrong or they
you know what, dude?
Donate something or something crazy. Well, I finally told a Habib. I said, I bet you the sun is up where you are right now because it was like fucking 6, 7 o'clock here, and he hung up the phone on me.
Who did what in your butt?
I look at these phone calls every once in a while, every now and then. They claim to be either from the IRS or Microsoft export.
Yeah, both of which are scams. Don't bother with them. Just hang up.
Yeah. What's funny, I was doing a video for YouTube. I got a call from one of these guys, okay? And right before I edited, I asked him these 3 questions. I go, do you have a heart? What? Do you have a soul in everything, dude? What? I hope you know you're on YouTube and there are going to be millions of people going to be laughing at your ass, man. And he called while I was doing a video.
Nice.
And I go, I hope you know that Microsoft called people. We call them if we have any trouble. You guys suck.
Yep.
And then same with the IRS. I go, they told me, well, you owe this much, this much, and if you pay about this thing, you go to jail. And I go, wow, gee, I wonder how I'm gonna pay this. I mean, I don't make very much. I get like this much a month. Like, oh my god, do I need a lawyer?
I'll be like, yeah, I'm not working. I've not been working, and I've been current on my taxes for years when I was working, and if there's a discrepancy with my taxes, then that's a fuck up on your part, and at which point you should go to jail for incompetence.
And I ask guy, How do you know I owe some money? Click.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, give me the due diligence, you fucking cocksucker. Okay, so where do we want to go on this round table now?
It's almost an hour and a half.
We'll just call it a night, maybe do another one tomorrow night or something?
Maybe. It's up to you.
Well, I'm drunk, and I've still got a freaking lot of work to do on this freaking wall.
Well, since you seem like you're busy, you might want to call it a night so you got time to upload it and everything.
Yeah, well, it'll get uploaded. The files already will pretty much be done anyway. I just got to straight upload. And I can do that while I'm freaking doing plaster and shit. Because I don't know if you guys can tell, but like, my place is kind of old. So you can see where I've been doing a lot of plaster work today. Yeah. This is like one of many, many holes that I'm patching. It's an old fixer-upper, that's why it's so fucking cheap. But, hey.
Well, at least it's cheap.
Hey, $250 a month, I'm not knocking it. It's well insulated. As you've seen from the pictures, my house does not look bad. It's just a moderate fixer-upper. But I do think we're going to go ahead and call it a night. I think we pretty much covered everything we really wanted to cover tonight. And Grandmaster Revan apparently has lost his sound. So, on behalf of everybody, thank you guys so much for joining me again for another roundtable. And for those of you watching this is Tin Man with the Resistance. If you're watching this, you are the Resistance.